From the court to the classroom, from the block to the boardroom, this is the Michael Graham Show, where real talk meets real life. Join Michael Graham as he breaks down the big issues: youth development, community programs, housing, jobs, and the challenges that shape us all. Loud, funny, real. The voices of experience from athletes, educators, advocates, and everyday warriors are all right here. This is where community comes to talk. This is the Michael Graham Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Michael Graham Show. I'm Michael Graham. Tonight, we got a great show for you all. We're going into the community, to one of the best foot soldiers in the DMV. First of all, I'd like to introduce my host. He's the author of The Other Side of the Hoop, The European Experience, Mr. Bobby Kinzer. Hey, Bobby.
What's up, Michael Graham? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I did a little better.
That was great. But somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Man, what's Michael's middle name?"
I don't have one.
Oh, you know what they told me?
What?
24 karat.
You need to stop, man. You need to stop. No, that's not me, man. That's not me. Hey, you know something? The news today, Michael Ray Richardson passed, right?
Oh man, one of the baddest point guards to ever play in the league.
Man, I was my partner there, man. Even though he was in Albany, he was in Albany. I was in Wyoming. We was playing I was in Rochester, and hanging out with him, man. I wound up missing the plane, man. I met this little young lady, man, and we sit out and had dinner and everything. Before you know it, man, I'm in the room with Mike Tyson, him, and some other dude. And then 10 minutes later, I'm with the female, and we talking about our kids.
So was that after he played for the Knicks or before he played for the Knicks?
That was after he played for the Knicks.
Wow.
That was after he played for the Knicks. Yeah. He was in the CBA then, he was suspended. That's when he got the lifetime ban. Yeah. So who we got tonight, Bobby?
Man, we got a wonderful person that is just, in the community, in the church, Pastor John Davis, man, doing so much great work in the DMV. They come out of Alexandria and Fairfax, but he does work all through the DMV and does work in the detention centers. Notice they don't call them jails no more.
Exactly.
Great. And the detention center, he has, programs on mental health. He deals with the youth. He deals with re-entry programs. He just does a whole lot. And welcome to the Michael Graham Show, Pastor John Davis.
Hey, but you know something, though? You got one thing.
What?
That's my cousin.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me. No. You didn't tell me that secret.
That's my blood.
That's family. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hey, but look, I got to say it straight off the break. I still call them jails, buddy. I call them jails. Get our people out these jails. We got to shut these jails down.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. So they seem like they building more. Now they got one down in Florida. What is it? Alligator Island or something?
Woo!
Yeah.
Man. They getting treacherous, man. They getting treacherous, and they putting our folks in there. But brown folks in there. So I mean,
out of all the countries in the world, we have the largest incarceration of people, period, especially the blacks. But the largest incarceration of any other, I think that's absurd. But anyway, we're going to talk about some of this stuff.
But but I got to plug it in because one of my close friends, a good ally, a white guy, older white guy, me and him met when we wasn't we wasn't doing everything the right way. We was doing a lot of bad stuff. But we became close and we both turned our life around. And one day he asked me, he said, "John, who do you think they building these jails for? all these new prisons and these jails for? And I said, for people like me. He said, no, your grandkids.
Wow.
Oh,
even worse.
Woo! I still feel that. I still feel, because if I don't change something, they're gonna follow right behind everything we've been doing, and that's the norm for us as people.
And you
so
know,
we gotta change it.
That you say that, Pastor Davis, that you say that the grandkids. This is what really gets me, because I'm all for helping the youth, and that's what everybody focus on, the youth, because they are our future. But what I found out, I focus on teaching financial literacy to all ages, but there's a lost generation in those 50s and even 60-year-olds, because that's why the kids are being jacked up. And a lot of people forget about, and not even, I can go down as much as 40-year-olds that really need help and that are also lost, but we tend to forget about them and want to focus on the youth. But the reason why the youth are jacked up is because of the adults.
Yeah. I do a lot of work in senior citizen buildings, and I'm telling y'all, it's not seniors in the building. It's a lot of people with mental health problems, physical health problems, some as early as 30s and 40s. But more than anything else is what you just said. A lot of loss. It's a lot of, I'm telling you, a lot of waste, a lot of like degradation, a lot of people. That's what got me into domestic violence, because I realized domestic violence wasn't just a spouse whipping a spouse, but it's also your kids treating you the way that your kids treat you is a domestic violence situation. We stopped being in control of our kids a long time ago. Mike know our aunts and grandmothers and mothers used to sit on the porch, and when they flick that light, we know it's time to come in the house. Or we're gonna get that orange contract or upside our backside. But now,
how about this, John? How about this? We used to have to go out the yard and get the switch, didn't we?
Oh, go get it, boy, go get it, and don't bring no little one back. Hey, I'm telling you, Mike.
But since you brought that up, family thing, you from Washington, D.C.
Yes, Southeast.
And look, and before I can go any further, because the reason why I keep getting close, because I'm trying to look. Do you have a daggone patchy towel on the handkerchief?
No. I got a sweat hoodie on.
Oh, I thought you had that player with the old, handkerchief.
Nah, I got a sweat hoodie on. And the little thing that you tied up with is a museum sweat hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see you looking though, like, is he playing for us tonight or what? I played before.
What was it like growing up for you in DC?
Man, I'm telling you right now, and I hope Mike and my other cousin Kenneth Archie and us eventually get together and sit down and really put together what I know we need to. We had a lovely child. It was hard early on to realize that we were poor because we loved each other that much. We stayed with each other. We helped each other. We made sure each other made it. It's when we started veering off that we got in trouble. They talk about the animal planet. When you look at the animal planet, the animals on the TV, when them animals in a herd, don't nobody bother them. But when one of them spring away, that's what happened to Mike. That's what happened to me. We sprung away. Once we spring away from our tribe, from our herd, we get tore out the frame, man. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yes.
That's it.
We was protected in our fold. Our family loved us. We loved each other.
Right.
So now you went to Eastern High School?
Yeah, I went to Eastern High School. I went to Woodson Junior High. Oh, okay. And I got my GED. I got my high school diploma in Hagerstown Prison.
Oh, in Hagerstown? Woo, boy.
Yep.
Ooh, boy. So you did time? You did time?
I did time. How much
time did you do?
When Mike was a superstar, I was doing time. Hey, look, I was sentenced to a 20-year term, but I did 5 years on it and 5 years probation. So I ended up doing half of it. and I never wanted to go back. That's why I know you don't have to go back.
Right.
Exactly.
But you know, it's so interesting. You say, I mean, 20 years. That man. Just to hear that, I know that kind of mess you up. I went into Lorton in the old days, and scared me half to death as a youth. But as an older person, I went into San Quentin in 2000, and I think it was around 2008, man. And I mean, anybody that can make it through prison for 1 month. And people, and look, and this is the thing, Pastor Davis. People, there's a difference between prison and jail. Meaning, jail is like you temporary, but prison, I learned, that's where you get the big time.
Yeah, that's when it get real. It get real in prison. Yes, it do. Right. So it's
talk a little bit about that, man. How did you make it through that?
Well, at the time, I was an athlete myself. I used to be into boxing. I boxed with number 11. I was one of those people that believed in taking care of my body. I was physically, I was a small guy, so I knew I had to be fast and strong. I took care of myself, and I wasn't afraid because I had got into. I read the book, The Art of War. I had got into how to defend myself and be all right with myself. I contribute that now to even in my belief system now. I wasn't afraid and forced to join any kind of religion out of fear because I was into sports. I like boxing. I like running. I like basketball. I like football. And that's one thing that's prevalent in jails and prisons too, sports. Yeah. If you good at sports, people going to like you. They're going to make sure you all right too, if you good at it.
I noticed when one year I went to Lawton with a guy, Joe Carr.
Oh,
yeah. He took a team down into Lawton to play those guys, man. We played those guys, and those guys could play. They were athletic,
Yeah.
And everything was going okay until this guy came down and just chopped me in my neck.
Oh,
yeah. And I turned around and punched him, man, and they had it, man. Security came from everywhere. They had to escort us out to jail, man. I didn't know no better.
Yeah, they ain't know they mess with the beast from Southeast. They ain't know.
Beast from Southeast.
They didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, he hit you and you hit him back. Hey, look, that's how it go.
So look, this is my experience. I'm talking about like 72. We go down there, take a team like they would do, right, to play. Right. A local team. It was rites of passage too, because I grew up on Upshur Playground on 14th and Upshur, right? Okay. So this is my time. I'm like a junior. We go down into Lawton, man, and when they shut them bars and I heard that sound, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm up in this joint. So look, back in the day, we used to have these skull caps, right? You roll them up, the knits cap. Yeah. But when I came up, everybody would break them down. Like I had mine like a Robin Hood. Some people so I had my joint like a Robin Hood hat, right?
Right.
So, I'm playing, I see this dude about 6'6", thick muscle. The boy got my hat on. And just the way I had it broke down because I set it on the bench. So when I put it on, and look, I saw that big and I wasn't the size I am now. I was like about 180. I looked at that mug and I'm like, should I say something? I'm like, you know what? I can get another one of them hats.
I can get another hat. That's his hat now. Plus, I'm going home. He need it.
I'm going home.
He needed more than me. And I didn't want to say nothing because then the guys would have said, say something. Don't act like no punk. So I'm like, you know what? That's his hat.
That's my secret. I'm taking that home with me. That's secret. Lost my hat.
That's it. Let me ask you this, Pastor. What do you think about what's going on with the youth curfew and everything now? I mean, we got to find a way to sort of like, I guess sort of satisfy the youth because some people for the curfew, some are not. Me personally, I'm not for it, but I do believe if they do a crime such as carjacking or murder, they should be tried as an adult because I think they know better. When they commit that crime, they know better. Now, come on.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with that. And maybe things will slow up a little bit. Maybe we can, But,
yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I just like what I was just saying, because me and Big Ox end up going over number 11 boys club and joined their boxing team because there were so many different rec centers we could choose.
Right.
And now they had shut all the rec centers down.
Right.
Just recently, because of everybody making all the noise, they renovating quite a few rec centers right now. They renovating them. We have to engage our youth. Bottom line, we have to engage our youth. If we need them to raise their self, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
this is what's going to happen. They're going to live what they see on TV. Okay, so we have to engage them. We have to give them stuff to do, and we have to really sit around them enough to know the things that they like that's safe for them, so we can kind of like I heard a guy say, I don't really want to control them, but I want to be the guardrail around them.
Right.
Because they got to live. Yeah, they got to live. So they got to live. And we got to be able to make sure, like our parents and people older than us back in the day, they had their eye on us, but they let us go, But I'm telling you,
back then it wasn't like, oh, if you spank me, I'll call the police on
you.
Yeah.
You
know what? So that's where things change at, because man, we used to, when we did wrong, we got it.
We got it.
I had an uncle, Jake.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, chased me down. He had been in his 50. I thought I could outrun him.
Never gonna happen. No.
And what you said, Pastor Man, I remember I was 12 years old, and I walked from 14th and Upshur all the way down to number 10 Boys Club, which was all the way down by Park Road. That had to be about 20, 30 blocks. And I was like 12, 11 years old. I would not leave the house, like you said, in the daytime, come back by evening, by night when it got dark. And like I said, but they trusted, that we were fine. But they still stayed on top of us. And so what do you think is because a lot of things have changed, but so many things seem the same. How do you think the approach now today, and you deal with a lot of young men and women, is the approach still the same, or is there a different way to reach these young people?
It's almost like I heard you kind of saying it's the same, but it's different because a lot of things have changed. Me and my son was just talking the other day, and he said, "Pops, what if y'all had the internet?" He said, "Man, if y'all, man, that's Michael Graham on steroids with the internet." So, he'd have been to Spain, Italy, Europe, everywhere, all at once. So it's like we have to take into consideration all the stuff that's vices for them now. They got a lot of vices.
Right.
Our problem is, as people of an older generation, we think that it's not important, but it's important to them. So we have to learn how to, and that's what I started trying to do with my sons, my two sons. Now, I personally, I'm not into the gun range and hanging out and stuff, but sometimes I just be with them on whatever time they on, to let them know, look, I'm concerned about you enough to step aside what I think is right or wrong, just to let you know how much I love you, even though I don't think what you're doing is right, but I'm going to support you long as you're not breaking the law or hurting nobody. We have to really listen to, I think that's it. We have to listen to our youth, and we're not hearing them. This one of their sayings though, you hear me? They say you hear me 1,000 times. Because guess what? We don't hear them.
Right. Yes. You're right.
I think we should do more think tanks with them, where we get a group of them, we sit down with them, we get them to tell us what they think. I remember being young, and Mike man, we thought our parents ain't know nothing, and they knew everything. Now we look back, me and the guy was just talking, matter of fact, it's ironic, we was in jail talking, and the guy said, man, my mother said, if I make my bed hard, I finished it before he did. If I make my bed hard, I got to lay in it.
Right.
You know, she was telling us that, hey, you're going to have to suffer for your consequences. So keep on thinking you're getting away with something. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later, but you're going to pay.
Right.
So we got to really start listening to our kids and implementing when we can those gold nuggets like that, letting them know, hey, we're not out to try to, bring you down. Matter of fact, we want to see you grow. We want to see you succeed. But this to hit, some of the things that you're doing is not going to produce any positive results, And the reason why I know, because it's our lived experience. We lived this. Right. We lived it. We know if you don't pay your bills on time, you're probably not going to be real good at finances. Exactly. So we have to let them know, hey, look, we're not doing this to bring you down. We really want to see you grow. Tell me, how can I help you? Exactly. And that's what I use. I catch them young guys and I say, how can I help you? Mm-hmm. And usually they'll say, well, I need some money. Well, I'm not going to give you no money.
Right.
I'm not going to give you no money, but I can tell you some ways that you can make some. Right. And if you follow that, I guarantee you will be successful. You young right now. Do something with your life.
What I found out, Pastor, a lot of the older guys, in our range, it's like they're afraid to talk to some of these young guys because they hear the stuff in the news, the radio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some that's part of it.
And how they dress.
How they dress.
Another part of it is like like you said, they want to talk at them to your point instead of listening to them, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned when I get with the young guys and teach. To find out, I listen to them first, and then tell them, and then teach them, because I try to find out what's on their mind. All they want, and a lot of guys don't know. I'm finding out a lot of these young guys want to listen to an older guy, believe it or not, but older guys think that they don't. And one example in the men's Bible study at our church, they had some young guys come and he said, open your Bibles to, scripture, so and so, right? And, the young guys didn't, respond quickly. And he's like, hey, won't y'all didn't bring no Bible? And they're like, we got our phone,
Yeah,
and like, and they were kind of getting on them at first. I mean, that's why they don't come.
Yep. There you go. There you go.
They pull up their pants. They're not doing nothing. And I'm like, man, we got to be better at reaching them.
Exactly.
One other question, Pastor. The thing that I see, and I'd like to know from your perspective, the young men today, different than the girls, believe it or not, seem to have no vision, no goals. Like you said, nothing to strive for. How do you deal with that?
And that's, it's like, it's so painful being frank or really being candid with this answer. Mm-hmm. If I'm looking back and I ain't seeing nothing, I don't want to look back. I don't want no old head telling me what to do that's not doing anything themselves.
Exactly.
I don't need you to tell me what to do and you didn't do it.
Right.
So
how can you tell me when you haven't done it?
There you go. So that is why I choose wisely with people that I use to talk to the youth, especially because I know they like we were. We shop, man. We size you up. We pay attention.
Right.
And if you just talking, we don't need a lot of talk. We beyond that now. We in too much trouble just to hear you tell us you need to do this, you need to do that, and you did nothing yourself. Right. You did nothing. Right. So the key is, before you start telling them, put yourself in a position that you can tell them how to do it.
Right.
Like in my case, a lot of it is, I went to school, I went back, I learned cable technology. It fed me the rest of my life. Then I got into counseling work, which led me into ministry work. So I did way better than being in prison. But had I stayed on that track
Right.
and not started looking for healthy role models, because that's what I know they want healthy role models. I know they do. But they so stuck thinking that it's a rapper or a basketball star or somebody like that.
Right.
And most of them never going to reach that.
Exactly.
But they can still be a school principal or a director, or they can still do some great things in life.
Yeah.
They still have opportunity, and some of them will reach those other goals.
Yeah.
But a lot of them get so caught up, and that's where the drugs come in, because now they start feeding themselves something to get out of their reality.
Right.
That's the worst thing.
Nothing to strive for, But one thing I've learned in teaching is different from when we grew up, right? To your point, the old way of teaching was a lot of older teachers telling them what not to do.
Right.
And they kind of shut down. Or remember how you used to coach, oh, you ain't going to be nothing, you low down. And I found out they shut down.
Yep.
But what I found out, if you tell them what to do instead of not what you're not doing, they respond a lot better.
Yes, they do.
But a lot of people would like to say they really haven't done much, so they can't tell them what to do. But so they end up telling them what not to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How do you feel about that? The different teaching.
That's it. I mean, I even remember in my situation, I still can remember it. It was like when you yelled at me and you degraded me and you talked down to me, I shut you out. I cut you off. Even though I'm in front of you, I stopped listening because I'm already feeling bad enough about myself. I don't need you constantly downing me. Now, if you ain't coming to me to say, look, man, tomorrow I'm going to take you down here. I heard they got jobs, they got classes, you can get a trade, you can get yourself a trade, and you can do something different with your life. You need to get from this environment you in. And I remember people telling me that. I remember my mother and older people telling me, you need to get from around the same neighborhood or you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, do something else with your life. Right now, you stuck with the wrong crowd, and you're going to end up getting exactly what they getting. And that's a whole bunch of time in prison or death. So I remember that, and it was real good information because it made me want to do something different.
Right.
I remember somebody gave me a Washington Post, said checking for jobs. They was giving me the Washington Post every Sunday to check for jobs and check for programs and check for classes. And that's where I found Orion Business School, and I started taking a class in telecommunications. Changed my whole life.
So
changed my whole life.
On the upside, right? On the positive side, share with us a lot of the programs that you're doing to help.
A lot of the programs that I'm doing to help right now. I just became a Lovemore master life coach. That's something that I do. And I've been working with them with the Peace Academy, helping, guys that's credible messengers and violent interrupters and stuff like that. And I also go into jail 3 times a week, once for anger management, once for life coaching, and once for substance use disorder. I also am on the advisory board with Child and Family Services. And over the last 4 years, we developed what's called the 211 Warm Line, which families in the district can call and get financial help. I'm just going to put it right out there. I ain't even going to shortchange it. You can call and get financial help, the 211 Warm Line. They will help you with a lot of other stuff too. But if it's really finance that you need, if you can prove that to them and it's something that they can help you with, they're going to do it right on the spot. So, matter of fact, I just came back from Myrtle Beach with them, and we met with people from all over the world. We got funded through the Doris Duke Foundation. She sold a lot of money into it. The Casey Foundation sold a lot of money into it. And it's like we really believe in helping families. We want to go from surviving We want our families and communities to go from surviving to thriving. Most of us don't know nothing about thriving.
Right.
We've been putting out fires all our life.
Yeah.
All we do is wait for the next event. You know, we catch up one problem, then we wait for the next one. Then we catch up. We don't know what it's like to just sit back and say, whatever's coming, I got it. You know,
right.
I'm good. So we've been trying to teach that in a lot of different ways, not just by handing out money or handing out, tokens. We've been trying to really get it as a mindset that we can really, if we join together and we help each other, we can really do anything we want.
But the 211 number, is that just in DC?
It's just in DC. That's a district thing. Yep. That's just in DC. But yeah, and I'm going to do something tomorrow with East of the River. I do partnerships with people like them. I do partnerships with Howard University. I just spoke at a summit they had for peers. I'm also a peer. And I also do a lot with the health department in the district concerning all the fentanyl overdoses. That kind of sent me in a upward spiral, really fighting for our people, because I found out that a lot of us was dying from fentanyl and we didn't even know what it really was. We was just trying to escape the misery that we was living in, and we end up taking something that we don't know. We think it's just a Percocet or Oxycontin, and it's really fentanyl, and we losing our lives. So I do a lot with the health department. Me and a couple of the people that work with them, we go around trying to reverse overdoses and educate people about this fentanyl stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask you about the seniors in DC. I noticed that, they sort of like need some help too, because I met a lot of seniors in DC, man. They trying to choose, between food and medicine. And now you look at, the food stamps are cut off for now, and, it's sort of hard. So,
that's another thing. We do wellness. We do a wellness program with seniors, mental health and mental wellness. We've been in Greenleaf, down Southwest. Tomorrow, matter of fact, I'm doing some advocacy work with a senior on B Street over in Southeast, because she's working to get more services in her building. People promise you the world, but when the time comes, they don't show up. So I've been kind of working with her, because some of the seniors can't even get haircuts, because just like what you say, they got to choose between eating and their medication. So they're not going to get a haircut. So the least some of us can do, like me, I can find a way to get resources to get them some haircuts. So I'm going to work with her tomorrow on a few things like that. I do a lot of that too. Even out here in Virginia, I was doing a couple of times a month, going to the rec centers, meeting with the seniors. I believe in that. I believe, and my son teaches me this: the seniors got the secret to life. Yes. And the reason why we know, because they still live it, first of all, but we shut them down as youth and we make them afraid to say something. We got to find a way to get the seniors back with the youth, because they go to remedy to life right there. They go to secret to life. Get the seniors. Me and my son came up with a term, secret seniors, because we got so many seniors keeping everything a secret. So we got to get them enough boldness to tell us what's really going on and how did they get to where they at in life, because our young people not making it. They're not making it.
They're not.
That's the difference when I was coming up, when you played down the playground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were playing, even in junior high and high school, I was playing with fathers and grandfathers that were still ball.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they would sit down on the bench, they would drink beer, they wouldn't give me none.
Right.
And they would be talking about
that conversation that you need to hear.
Yeah. But now with AAU, you don't never have that chance to play with your son unless you're in the backyard. But that was something that was really missing that I thought was really important. How we would play, I would play with those adult guys, man.
Yep.
They would sit down and school you and, tell you different things, stay out the streets and keep your nose clean, stuff like that. And we don't have that kind of foundation anymore, or that connection to the older people, like you say.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in a Georgetown class, and I thought about that when me and Mike talked earlier. I'm in a Georgetown class. It's infant and early childhood development. And it's talking about the importance of engaging your children,
Right.
even from day one. You ain't got to do goo goo gaga gaga goo goo. No,
Nah.
say A B C D E F G 1 2 3. Talk to them like they already understand it, because guess what they do. Yep. And the more you talk to them and stop treating them like they're a baby, like they don't understand nothing, you start putting them in that kind of situation, believing that they feeble and they can't do a lot. We've been studying this. You talk to your children at an early age as if they understand. Those the brightest kids.
Yeah. And you know something? You're right, because my ex-wife used to read. Well, we both used to read to our daughter when she was carrying our daughter. Yeah. And man, my daughter's just like, my daughter's smart as hell.
Yeah.
You know that she heard it,
man. She heard it, man. She heard it. Yeah, I'm studying that right now. Matter of fact, I won a scholarship, and that's what it is, because I really know that our problem is a whole problem. It's not, we want to just grab a little kid and try to fix them, or grab the dad keep going, try to fix. No, we gotta get the family together, y'all.
Multiple approaches.
Yes, we really do. I worked for Sasha Bruce for years, and one of my things was home visits to see if we should let the child go back to the family. And I'm telling y'all, I've changed since then, because back then, as soon as I walk in your house, I said, nope. I started checking off, and I go back, and me and the director would have stomp out arguments, because she'd be like, well, what you mean we can't send him back to his family? That's his mother, John. And I'd be like, I know his brother. His brother shot somebody last night. His sister was upstairs giving head to a guy, and his father's locked up for murder. And if you send him back, you're going to kill him. Wow. But now, since I work developing that 211 warm line, send them back. Send them back. Yeah, right. Send them back, or send them to their grandmother, their aunt, or somebody in their family. We found out that kids do better with their real bloodline.
Yep.
Whether they sleeping on the floor, they do better sleeping on the floor with a mother that's busted than a rich family in Potomac that ain't their blood.
Wow.
That's what we found out doing the study. The study shows it. We need to be with our roots.
Yeah.
We do.
I agree.
That's why I'm telling you, and I've been doing this a long time, the substance abuse, the incarcerations and stuff, I cannot turn a kid against their family, man. They want their mother or their father, man. They yearn for that love. They yearn for it. So we got to find a way to help rebuild those relationships.
And that's why I was saying earlier, we got a bunch of, and you took it, 30, 40, and 50-year-olds that need to be trained, because it's a catch-22, Pastor Davis.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying, sending them back to the home, but if their parents are just, going down that dark rabbit hole.
Yep. And that's it right there. And we just had a real big meeting, and the lady from Doris Duke came, and she sung, and it was so powerful for me, because she reminded us just what you just was saying. Now, some kids, you just have to take them.
Right.
Some you just have to take.
You have to take.
But not because the family broke.
Right.
No, you don't take them because the family broke. But you take them if they've been molested, if they've been hurt or something like that, if they in danger, if they're in any kind of danger. But if they broke, you don't take them, because love will cover that.
Exactly.
Love will cover that. I'm telling you. So we got to find a way to help these families that's struggling, because they're not just struggling because they want to struggle or they think struggling is so cool to do. They struggling because the kind of policies that we got in America.
But you know something else? We especially here in DC, we got to start making these men be fathers. You know what I'm saying? We got that, man. That's so important, because I think that's where some of these kids are lost at, because
No
there's not
question.
a male in the house.
There's no question. There's absolutely no question. But when you watch those movies, like what was it? Where when the welfare came to the house, the father's shoes of Claudine.
Claudine. Yeah.
Let me tell y'all, that's real.
Right.
And what happened, it got in our psyche.
That's what
Get the man out this house, because we can get more money without him in here. And it's so strong that now we can barely see it.
Right.
It's been covered up so much we gotta get the men back. The men don't feel qualified to come back. A lot of times they feel like the family better off without me being there. And it's sad, because we've been trained to feel like that and to think like that, and we got to change that narrative. We need to get the fathers back, but we need to find a way to help them be successful so that they can feed their families. Jobs and education and groups and stuff, and more programs and more shows like this that's centered on that. Because, man, I'm telling you, it's nothing worse than thinking it's about a nice car or some nice clothes, or going to some kind of show and playing big, and you got a son or a daughter at home that's suffering.
Right. Yeah. And you made a statement a while ago about mindset, which is so important, right? And mindset is so important, because when I teach financial education, most people always start with numbers, savings, budgeting, credit, and investing. But I start now with mindset, and it's so important that we got to get people to have a mind shift. For instance, because I used to teach that in personal money management, I would say it's the person's fault, right? You need to be accountable. Right. You need to be responsible, right? It's you. You can't blame it on Mr. White Man. But then I saw this study that talked about the system, and I had to back off, because and guys were arguing with me, saying, "Yeah, people need to be responsible. They need to take responsibility." But what I learned, you cannot forget how this system is designed to go against a lot of people. It's not always their fault, and I backed up off of that. Yes, you need to be accountable and you need to be responsible yourself, can't blame nobody else. But this system systematically is set up and is jacking a bunch of people up. Everybody, is not just, in their situation because they were just bad savers or terrible spending. And I really woke my eyes up, and we got to understand and teach this, that there are things out there like, redlining and this, all other kinds of systematic things. For instance, I teach financial literacy, right?
Yes.
Only 27 states require seniors or high schoolers to graduate with at least one personal management course. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's crazy. Just 20. Virginia's not one, and Maryland's not one. No, excuse me, I take it back. DC, Virginia just became one. DC and Maryland is not one. And I went and checked with some bankers, right? To my point about the system. Why is that way? They don't want you to be literate.
That's right.
It's a system thing that is designed against us.
That's right.
But we don't see it. So I backed up off that, riding people like, no, you need to pull up your bootstraps. You need to be, but it's a combination of both,
It really is. It's a combination of both. And when you stuck on the South Side, it's not even a question.
Right.
You're gonna make the choice to do. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Hey, look,
Wow.
I don't ever want to forget being a young man growing up in Southeast, whereas I feel like I had no other choice but to get down or lay down. You know, man, when I hear people say that, I always be like, wow, because I remember thinking that I had to become a part of it. I had to become a part of what looked like strength, but it wasn't strength. It was what was sending us to prison and early graves. But everything else looked at weak, you know, going to work every day for the white man and not making barely enough to survive. And your woman don't want you in the house because she can get more money on the welfare if you're not dead.
Right.
Systematic. It's demoralizing. Yeah. It eats you up, and you end up out there in them streets doing whatever you do. It's the sickest thing I ever seen. So yeah, those kind of policies and those kind of systemic, you know, it just eradicates our whole race.
We got to be aware of it, you know. We got to be aware. But you know, God, man, you know, we talked about a lot, and man, we are some jacked up folks, man. I swear.
Yeah, we do, man.
It's like you said, it's so much, Pastor Davis. So where do you start?
With yourself.
Back to there you go.
Back to the man in the mirror. And you know what? A friend of mine told me he read this book by Victor somebody, A Man's Search for Meaning. And he said this dude, he woke up one day and he made a decision to help somebody, at least one person a day, right? Mm-hmm. And it changed his whole life. And sometimes I think we created to be selfish. Like, I got mine, they got theirs to get. Yeah. I just said this. And my brother-in-law just texted me and said that it was a good statement, because I said, and I hear it a lot, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And the reason why I say that, because humanity is the most powerful thing. And if we don't know that, we're in serious trouble. If I don't know how important you are to me and how important I am to you, there go the problem. That's the major problem. So it's almost like we have to find ways to mend that bridge that we had when we were young. And it was almost like nothing was too big for us to overcome. Right. And now we laying down being slaughtered. Oh, he taking out SNAP. Oh, he taking this, he taking that. Right. Man, we gonna make a way.
DEI.
Yeah. Oh.
But, man,
they've been pushing out buttons, boy. I'm telling you, boy. And that's all it really is, though. It's like
all the fight game. It's all the fake out to get you.
It's all the fight
stuff over there.
Yep. It really is. It really is, because we done been through way worse stuff than this.
Yes.
When I look back, man, DC was the murder capital one time, and they was dropping like flies. Right. That crack epidemic was one of the worst things in the city. I mean, I remember the border babies was laying over DC General.
Wow, yeah.
All them babies who you didn't even know who the parents were. And it was a whole ward for them babies, man. I remember the morgue was so packed with bodies, they didn't know who the bodies were. A lot of people from New York and all that. Man, we've been through a lot.
Yeah, we have.
So we got to stand on those shoulders, man, the people before us, and keep pushing and find ways to keep pushing, man. Find ways to believe in these affirmations we send around to each other every day.
Yeah.
You know, get into meditation. That's another thing I do, meditation.
Oh, see,
get into meditation, man.
People don't understand about meditation, and believe it or not, about meditation in the Bible.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize, they pray, and I'm all for praying.
I'm all for praying too.
When you're praying, you're running your mouth. You're doing all the talking. That's why you got to have a balance and meditate.
So
and
you can listen.
About before, sit and listen.
That's so real. That's what I went. They sent me to Duke Divinity School. Matter of fact, that's another thing. I'm a Volunteers of America Reverend. I got ordained through Volunteers of America. Those are children from the guy from the Salvation Army. I'm just cutting it in short because a lot of people don't know who they are, but they just as big as the Salvation Army.
Right.
But I got ordained through them. They sent me to Duke Divinity School, a school in California called Claremont Theology School. But one of the things that never left me was one of my assignments was to go around to all the different programs in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia tri-state area and teach meditation to the staff and the clients. So I did that for maybe a year or two, and it was real serious for me because they was grading me on it, you know, and a lot of people was calling for it. They was like, when Reverend John coming back? We need more meditation in this building, you know. They was starting to really buy into it. I'm telling you. And it made me buy into it.
With the mental health.
It really do.
You know? Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Yes.
It really do.
About mental health, Pastor Davis, man. Let's talk about one of the biggest killers. You know, we got fentanyl, we got obesity, we got strokes.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. I think this might be the number one killer. Can you talk a little bit about stress?
Woo! Stress is definitely, because you know what? Everything you name, stress leads to it. Everything you name, stress, man, stress kills. And usually you stressed out about stuff you can't do anything about.
Right.
That's the sad part. So you might as well let it go. Let it go. You know, let it go. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, and I think one of the things that I just was teaching on, matter of fact, I was teaching in the jail last Thursday, and we were talking about some of the triggers to anger, and stress is one, you know. And what happens when you what happens after the stress, and you know what happens to your body after the stress and all of that. It's a cruel thing. Stress leads to heart attacks, strokes. Man, stress is vicious, and you don't even touch a cupcake or a cigarette, a bill, nothing. You just worrying about something that somebody said to you. And I woke up like that this morning. That's why I know it's important. And last night I was in a group, and one of the ladies in the group, she said something to me that was very disheartening. And I left carrying it. Mm-hmm. And this morning I realized that I had to get rid of it. And the best way I knew how to get rid of it was to call her and let her know that if I offended her in any way, I apologize.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, I've been there.
And I didn't do that for her.
Right.
I did that for me.
Right.
Because I didn't want to keep carrying it and thinking negative and that be this and that broad and this man, how could she? I just hurry up and say, you know what? Maybe I did say something that offended her. Nowadays, everybody real sensitive. See, I don't know what a person going through when they walk through the door.
Right.
Maybe she just lost all her finances. Maybe they just took her snap. I don't know. So she said some stuff. The whole group was, stress was heavy. So when I woke up still feeling it, I said, I know how to get rid of it. And I just called her. Even though she didn't answer, I apologized to her answer machine. And it took a load off of me. Right. I'm telling y'all, stress is the number one killer, man. And usually it's about something that we have no power on because it's dealing with other people and where they at in their life or stuff like that, or finances or whatever. And the best thing to do is meditation and prayer and believe in these affirmations. That's why they say affirmations are so important. That's why we teach that. Read positive stuff every day, constantly, to change your narrative, change how you think. Right. The last thing I said in the jail yesterday when I was leaving, I said, change the way you think.
Yeah.
and it'll change the way you live.
Mm.
Period. Period.
What do you think about what DC is doing with the homeless? You know, we noticed that Donald Trump came in and got the National Guard knocking down tents, and you know, then you got the people that's working for the DC government rushing to find these people places to lay their head at. You got some don't want to go because some been in the system, some felt like the system don't do enough, and some don't want to get caught up in the system, and some are going through, you know, like you said, with the mental health thing.
I really feel bad about that because I told you about it. I just see Dante West the other day.
Oh, so
you know,
yeah.
And you know what? It was so when I got to church and my wife was there, I said, you know what? I started to invite Dante and his couple buddies to church, right?
You actually saw him. It wasn't
I saw him. I always see him. Always see him. So I got pictures. I stop and talk to him. We'll stop and have a conversation and all of that. This particular Sunday, it was him and a couple of his buddies by the gas station, like begging for change. So when I got to the building and I got in the church, I said, I should have gave them something to do to justify giving them some money. Because I do that sometimes. I say, look, come up here, clean up when we finish. They go $25 to all of y'all. I do that.
Right.
And when I walked in there, something said, and I said, baby, I just seen Dante West. I should have bought him. She said, why you ain't try? And then I looked at the door, but I didn't go because something else happened. And that night they said he went through some kind of overdose or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said from here on out, whenever, because it was like something said, engage him, try, at least try. And I told a friend of mine that he said, man, John, don't never let that opportunity go again. I said, I won't, because he almost died that night, they say.
Right.
You know?
Well,
So,
I've seen him since then on TikTok with the people that he be with. It's a couple that looks out for him, a Caucasian couple.
yeah.
And, you know, I guess they squashed the rumors, you know, about what happened and all. But that you can't because too many people seen it and they know it.
Yeah, and they saying,
man,
it's so much, man, because they saying that the couple, but it's no telling. But one thing I know about homelessness, because I've been homeless too before, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And once you get in that mindset, you're not going to take shelter because right now you're going through something. So you'll bounce around. So they can close everything down in DC. Guess what? We're going to see them in Maryland and Virginia. Then they shut everything down. They just push them other places. Like over there on Minnesota Avenue, they tore the wall down. And it was a perfect analogy for me because I did a post about it. I said, we so busy knocking down walls that we missing the wall that's inside of us. That wall that we put up to push people back.
Right.
Y'all worrying about the wrong wall. We got hurting people out here on the streets, and you gonna knock down a wall to try to get rid of them. You know, they tore down a wall. Guess what happened? They moved around the side to the other wall.
They're gonna survive.
You talking about
they got rid of the Chinese restaurant and put a tobacco store there.
What?
So it went from 20 people hanging out in front of it to 60. You know, it's just our rationale and the way that we do stuff. Right. It's all about money usually at the end of the day. It's not about homelessness. It's not about voting. It's not about our rights. It's about how can we get the most money out of what we can ready to do.
Right. Exactly.
And it's sickening, man. It's sickening, man.
Very,
yeah.
Very.
It's sickening.
I'm glad we got people like you, Pastor John Davis.
Yeah. Yes.
That's part of the solution, you know.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Shows like that. That's why me and Mike do this. Although, you know, we give a lot of guys their roses while they're alive, but at the same time, we be trying to educate, put information out there.
Yeah, exposure.
This
exposure.
Yeah, our way also of trying to be a part of the solution.
Yes,
being a part of the problem. Because nowadays I realize we've gotten so articulate.
Yes, yes.
Articulate the problem.
Ooh,
I'm like,
ooh.
can you give me a solution? You know,
I'm telling you, that's
now,
it.
they real good at articulating the problem.
Woo wee.
Solutions, right? You know,
Yes.
about, you know, but we, man, thank God for you, my brother.
Man, I'm telling you,
you too.
Yeah, we definitely will do more because I'm telling you, I filter here and I know the exposure is worth everything. A lot of people be like, well, why would you do that? And I say, because we might do a show tonight and it might help some people 20 years from now.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's the power of this platform.
Yes,
the power
sir.
of this platform is it's never going to be obsolete, man. Long as somebody can hook up to a computer and listen, we don't know who life this might save.
Right.
Yeah. And then not only that, you got it's on every social media platform.
Right.
Like you
So
said,
you can't.
20 years from now,
Yeah.
somebody might pick this up. And the interesting thing, like we started at the beginning,
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff has changed, but a lot of this stuff ain't even going to change. Some of
And
this now is going to be good 20 years from now.
Yep. We're going to still have homeless. We're going to still have youth in trouble and seniors in trouble. We going to have it.
Yeah.
So we gotta keep on pushing and keep educating our people and keep uniting. That's it. The unity. Unity is the secret.
The whole key to, let's say, the system.
Yes.
Divide and conquer.
That's it. That's it.
And the solution is us coming together.
Together. That's right.
The other day, look, Pastor.
Yes.
Segregated day of the week.
Woo!
Sunday.
Yes, it is. You know, I know. You know, I know.
They go to the Methodists, go to church. Amy go to his.
Everybody go everywhere they want to go. And they serious about staying apart.
I was with these guys. You know, we met, and one guy was Buddhist, and the other, everybody else was Christians. And I studied Islam too, right? And the Buddhist guy was explaining. He said, "Well, we different, you know." He said, "We believe, you know, it's in you." And I'm like, "Okay, that's what Christians believe."
Yeah.
In you, he ain't flying around floating like acting like an airplane. It's in you. And then he said, "You know, but we different." And he said, "And it's about eternity. We believe in eternity." I'm like, "Well, that's the same thing that Christians."
Yeah.
But the Christian guy was like, No. See, no. He's talking. That's not the same, Bob. I was like, he's just calling it and using different terms, but it's probably the same thing. And then the Buddhist guy, no, Bob, that's different. I'm sitting there, but I mean, I know I went off on a tangent, but it's all about coming together on what do we have in common.
That's it. Finding a way to become like glue. That's it.
And you know what? I believe they're trying to do that, but everybody got their different path of taking, and hopefully we all can meet at that destination.
Yeah,
we do. That's what the word says. That's what we're going to end up back with the one, the supreme being God.
Either way you look at it. But that's why I don't force. I definitely learn not to force religion on people, because people, I don't want to believe in that. I don't want to believe in that. But if I feed you today,
I don't like doing that. If you want religion, then you know.
Hey, look, religion to me is one beggar showing another beggar how to get some bread.
That's all.
I never looked like that. But
one beggar trying to show. Anything other than that, man, we don't went too far out there. I'm telling you, man. We don't went too far out there. If we ain't trying to help each other and love each other and find ways to increase the peace with each other, man, we missed it. We missed it. Yep, we missed it. So yeah, but y'all did wonderful, man. This been live for me. I'm telling you, because I know it's gonna take us doing different things to reach different people.
Right. Yeah, and it's all about, you know, I want to do this thing community. So if you know anybody, John, that's down there in DC, that's working, you know, to help our people, to help any people that needs help, come on, man. We got the platform for them. I mean,
definitely.
You know, it's
definitely.
Important.
Definitely, man. I will, man. I will, man. For
so what
sure.
we gonna do? We gonna close this thing on out, man. Pastor, man. But I can say, cuz
Yeah, this is all
I
right.
really appreciate you, man. I love you, man.
This is on time. I'm gonna be able to go back and see it because I know we covered a lot of good stuff, man. We covered a lot of real powerful stuff, man. I'm telling you, we definitely was hitting heavy, so I know it's gonna be everywhere. Everybody gonna talk about this, man, for years to come. All right, I love y'all too, man. I look to hear from you, my friend Bobby Kissinger. I got you. I got you, my friend. All right, y'all. Later.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah, Bobby, that was a good one, man. That was a good one.
We covered a lot, though, Mike. Ooh.
Yeah, we did. So what we gonna do, man? We gonna try. I'm gonna get with you real early and everything because I think we gonna have a bomb burner. Whoever we have on next week, it's gonna be a bomb burner. I'm gonna let you know early. I'm gonna be good about it. You know, I keep telling you that, but I ain't.
That's all right. But you know how we roll, Mike.
Yeah. I'm just trying to do so much right now, and
I understand.
You know, and just trying to get it done, man. So we're gonna get on out of here. We're gonna thank our guest, Pastor John Davis, and we're gonna be out. I'll talk to you soon, Bob.
Have a good one, my good brother. Great show,
you too, baby boy.
See y'all next week.
All right.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Michael Graham Show. Big thanks to our guests, and bigger thanks to you for listening. If it hit home, share it. If it made you think, talk about it. Because change starts with conversation. Catch Michael next time. Same truth, same energy, same mission. Till then, stay loud, stay real, and stay connected. That's a wrap on this episode of The Michael Graham Show.